They are all gone aside. They are altogether become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Psalm 14, verse 3. David delivers God's verdict from the divine search. The results shock with their completeness. Every person examined fails the test. No exception exists in this comprehensive judgment. This leaves no room for human pride or self-righteousness. The phrase, "they are all gone aside," describes a deliberate departure from God's path. This isn't accidental wandering, but intentional rebellion. People choose to leave the way of righteousness. They abandon God's standards and pursue their own desires. This departure represents conscious moral choice rather than innocent mistakes. The phrase "gone aside" suggests turning away or becoming corrupt. It implies movement from a proper position to an improper one. Humanity has moved from its created purpose toward moral corruption. This movement affects every person without exception. "They are all together become filthy" intensifies the description of human corruption. The word filthy refers to moral putrefaction, like spoiled food or contaminated water. Sin has corrupted human nature so that people have become repulsive to a holy God. This corruption affects the entire human race apart from the grace of the Lord. The word "together" emphasizes unity in corruption. Humanity stands united in moral failure rather than spiritual success. People may disagree about many things, but they share common rebellion against God. This universal corruption transcends cultural, racial, and social boundaries. This immorality isn't just external behavior, but also internal corruption. Sin has polluted human nature at its source. The problem goes deep, from wrong actions to immoral desires and to wicked thoughts. External reformation cannot address this internal contamination. Isaiah uses similar language when he declares, "All our righteousnesses are as filthy rags." Isaiah 64:6. Even human attempts at goodness fall short of divine standards. The best human efforts remain contaminated by sinful motives and imperfect execution. No one achieves the righteousness God requires. The declaration, "There is none that doeth good," establishes the universal scope of human moral failure. This statement doesn't mean people never perform kind acts or helpful deeds. Rather, it means no one does good according to God's perfect standards. Human goodness remains partial, inconsistent, and contaminated by selfish motives. The phrase, "no, not one," removes any possibility of exception. David emphasizes the completeness of human moral failure. No individual escapes this condemnation through superior morality, religious activity, or cultural refinement. This verdict applies to every person who has ever lived. External appearances don't change the internal reality of human corruption. Those who seem most righteous still fall short of God's perfect standards. Religious activity cannot overcome fundamental moral corruption. Paul quotes this verse in Romans to establish universal human guilt, Romans 3:12. The apostle uses David's words to prove that all people need salvation through Jesus Christ. No one can claim righteousness based on personal goodness or religious performance. This universal condemnation serves as the foundation for understanding grace. If some people were good, they wouldn't need salvation. But since all have failed God's standards, all need divine intervention. God's salvation becomes necessary because human efforts prove insufficient. Contemporary culture resists this assessment of human nature. Modern thinking prefers to view people as good with occasional moral lapses. This optimistic view contradicts both Scripture and human experience. History shows humanity's capacity for evil despite education, culture, and moral instruction. The doctrine of total depravity doesn't mean people are as evil as they could be. Rather, it means sin has affected every aspect of human nature. People possess the image of God, but in a corrupted form. They can perform moral acts while remaining rebellious toward God. This universal corruption explains why human societies produce injustice, violence, and moral failure. Political systems, educational programs, and social reforms cannot address the root problem of human sinfulness. External changes cannot transform internal corruption. Human parents observe this corruption in their children. Children don't need instruction in selfishness, dishonesty, or rebellion. These behaviors emerge despite careful training and good examples. The business world also shows human corruption through fraud, exploitation, and dishonesty. Success often comes through methods that violate biblical standards of honesty and fairness. Human relationships reveal corruption through betrayal, manipulation, and selfishness. Marriage counselors see how people hurt those they claim to love. Friendships dissolve over money, jealousy, and competing interests. Family relationships suffer from bitterness, resentment, and unforgiveness. This universal corruption makes salvation through Jesus Christ necessary. No one can earn God's acceptance through personal goodness. Everyone needs the forgiveness, cleansing, and spiritual transformation only God can provide.